So the other day, I saw yet another good example of what I'd like to call the fan game cycle, and it's all too common. Some hyped up fan gamer mod comes out, everyone downloads it after game journalists cover it everywhere, and then a day or so later there's a DMCA and the reaction of gamers is split between anger at the game developer for going after fans who put their hard work in for nothing only to get DMCA'd by the game developer they really loved to worship, or bootlickers going on with generic excuses, worshipping whoever made the original game and coming out with excuse after excuse, even as they get shat on by the developer over and over again. This time, the fan game involved was a mod for a cancelled Russian free-to-play Halo title based on the Halo 3 engine, which was called Halo Online, and the mod was called Dewrito. And it's interesting for two reasons. The first reason being Microsoft is notoriously lenient with fan games and fan content, and while they're not as lenient as Valve is, they're lenient to the point of supporting fan content on public media accounts, telling multiple ones they're legally in the clear, and the notice they put up about El Dewrito on their website mentioned Installation 01, a Unity-based fan game that's still not out yet. And Microsoft even has a game content usage policy on their website. The second reason being Microsoft and 343 Industries put up a notice on their website in the news section talking about this, explaining their side, as most companies just send the takedown notice and let it be. I mean, Activision and Nintendo never even say a peep when it comes to taking down mods or fan games and that. But Microsoft actually put up a notice on their website talking about this, almost as if they predicted the giant backlash to come. And Phil Spencer even went on Twitter to kind of throw fans a little bone by saying, hey, Classic Halo is coming to PC possibly. He just put a hint there, but he was on Twitter saying that. Microsoft also stated that they had talks with the developers of El Dewrito and were possibly working towards something, and yet nobody could trust them, and I'll talk about why later. A day or so later, Microsoft started sending DMCA requests to Twitch streamers who streamed this game since it was popular, getting tens of thousands of viewers on Twitch, with more people caring about this fan mod than the official Halo titles. Furthermore, any attempt at discussing El Dewrito will lead to your thread being deleted or locked on the official Halo Waypoint forums. And of course, on subreddits talking about this game, there was a lot of backlash over this, with the occasional "don't hate on Microsoft" bootlicker in between, as much as you'd expect for a game franchise with a history in recent times, as fucked up as the Halo franchise has been, basically turning into the Sonic the Hedgehog of first-person shooters. And so first, let's talk about a little bit about the history of Halo in recent times, especially on the PC. And by the way, I just remembered, since Microsoft is DMCAing people uploading this game on Twitch, I might as well mention that none of the footage in this video came from El Dewrito whatsoever. It's all from the Master Chief Collection version of Halo 3 or Halo 3 on the 360. Ever since the ill-fated PC port of Halo 2 from 2007 that required Windows Vista and had crippled mod support, Halo hasn't seen a full-fledged PC release, and it's just been a clusterfuck. You want Halo 3 for the PC? Tough shit, you're getting Spartan Assault, a port of a mobile game that nobody really wanted. You want Halo Wars? Alright, you'll get it on Steam several months after the Windows Store release. You can't play with people who went all in and bought that version when it was on the Windows Store. And if you want Halo Wars 2, you'd better buy it from the Windows Store because it ain't on Steam. You want Halo 5? Well, you're not going to get Halo 5. You're just going to get the Forge mode. And you guessed it, you need the Windows Store to download it. Since around 2007, gamers have been begging Microsoft to release Halo 3 on the PC in some way, shape, or form, and it's been one of the most rumored things to happen. It's basically been the Halo fan version of Half-Life 3 actually coming out, or the Halo version of Duke Nukem Forever's 2001 beta actually being released by whoever owns the rights now. But if you expected everything to be sunshine and roses on the console, well, hate to break it to you, but get this, the situation's marginally better. Halo 5 is a microtransaction-fueled forgettable pile of crap that's lost a lot of its player base, and Halo 4 tried aping Call of Duty a bit too, which resulted in the game losing a lot of players the same day Black Ops 2 came out. The Master Chief Collection was perhaps one of the biggest fuck-ups this gen by any major gaming studio, and nearly 4 years later, 343 Industries is still claiming there's a patch to fix it, finally coming soon! 4 years later, wow! I mean, it's not like the game is still broken in a million different ways. I mean, we even, I remember, I was at, this furry convention, and they had, this Xbox with the Master Shit collection. This was, a few weeks ago. And we tried to do, 4-player split screen, and the shit wouldn't let us do it. We tried sign in, we tried everything. It would only let us do 2 players at a time. And that was fucking retarded. But they say there's a patch to fix this finally coming soon. And in something that should not come as a surprise, literally nobody has any sort of confidence. Treating it on a yeah, whatever, 343. I'll believe it when I finally fucking see it basis. The Halo tournaments are practically ghost towns, while even other dying franchises like Call of Duty can still fill up a stadium for their pro tournaments. And while playing Halo 3 on the Xbox One isn't an issue, considering how you can play your choice of the original 2007 release or the Master Chief Collection version, depending on which one you have the disc for, Halo 3 isn't on the PC. And while there are still people playing Halo 3 on backwards compatibility and all, the thing is, its population is somewhat towards a self-fulfilling prophecy. It still has a few hundred people online, but a lot of people are they tell each other, oh, it's a dead game, oh, it's a dead game, oh, it's a dead game. I ignored the NAT type warning, and it's a dead game totally. So the self-fulfilling prophecy people just tell each other that, and then nobody plays it. I see that with so many games, by the way. It's weird, even if they still have people on. Anyhow, so when Halo Online was announced for the Russian PC market, many Halo fans weren't too thrilled at not getting Halo 3 for the PC. Until, well, it was kind of announced in interviews or somewhere that Halo Online was based on a modified Halo 3 engine. This led to modders taking on a challenge. Can a shitty Russian Halo free-to-play game on the Halo 3 engine be turned back into Halo 3? So Halo fans, burnt out on modding the 2003 PC port of Halo, and mostly ignoring the PC version of Halo 2 for the longest amount of time, decided to take up the challenge and see just how far they could go with turning a shitty Russian free-to-play Halo game into Halo 3. And thus El Dewrito was born. It started out with multiplayer based on the leaked Halo Online files, but Microsoft either turned a blind eye to it or didn't really notice it until the ultra-hyped 0.6 update, which had been delayed for quite some time, came out. This is when everybody started downloading El Dewrito, and the numbers were and still have been quite impressive for the Halo franchise, to the point where Microsoft couldn't ignore it. Halo Online had 20 to 30,000 people watching Twitch streams, and that's a guess because the biggest stream had 20,000 people watching it. Either way, it dwarfed the number of people watching streams for Halo 5 or the Master Chief Collection, and over 40,000 people downloaded the packed Halo El Dewrito version already applied to Halo Online, and over 8,000 people were playing El Dewrito the day it came out. More than Halo PC, Custom Edition, and Project Cartographer combined, and maybe even more than the 360 Halo games too. And there were lots of positive posts about how this brought back memories, even if it had bugs, even if it was a ghetto hack of some Russian Halo free-to-play game that was never released, even if it had a bunch of play differences, the impact was felt. Of course, if you want more context on why everyone feels this way, this is also the day and age where AAA gaming studios have never been more out of touch with what gamers want, and the Master Chief Collection isn't the only recent screw-up of a remake or remaster. Modern Warfare Remastered's release was handled as poorly as possible, from being initially released only with an $80 special edition of a game nobody wanted at first, which got price slashed to $60 by many stores, to not including the DLC and charging $5 more than its original cost. An update added in loot boxes, and by the time the game finally was released as a standalone $40 game, the bad choices and negative PR from the choices led many gamers to lose interest entirely, at least many who were vocal on the internet. I've also heard the rumor that the rumored Modern Warfare 2 remaster is going to be even worse, lacking the multiplayer and being single player only. Hey, when you combine that with the Black Ops 4 rumors that have been going around about how Call of Duty is going to be a battle royale shit now and how it's going to have no single player, there's a reason I said Call of Duty is dying. I mean, shit, they even said that the new COD wasn't going to have kill streaks at first until players complained. So let's get back to earlier. Halo's fanbase is a fanbase that's been fucked over time and time again to the point where everyone has lost interest in the series, to the point where Halo went from being the gold standard of shooters that everybody was trying to clone to another Me Too franchise, to the point where people bought Xboxes for Halo, started returning them or selling them because the new Halo titles and the Master Chief Collection sucked, and to the point where absolutely nobody has any sort of trust in 343 Industries anymore, and to a lesser extent Microsoft. And don't get me started on how Halo for the PC has been a long-running joke. Halo 3 on the PC in some form for these people was almost like a dream came true. Here you can finally play Halo 3 both on the PC and for free without having to run out to the local pawn shop to pick up a used 360, an Xbox Live Gold card, and a $5 copy of Halo 3. Especially as many internet gamers pawned off their Xbox for some weed or $30 off a PS4 at GameStop. Of course, as soon as the hype storm blew up, Microsoft found out about this and, well, they were ordered to halt their work. Now, the official reason, and I say official in quotes, the official reason for the cease and desist was, well, Microsoft didn't want them doing anything with the old Halo Online files, but you could also argue that it was likely for the same reason Nintendo was probably going after Project M from behind the scenes instead of, directly, which led to the developers having to halt work. After word got around that they were next and that they were going to get nailed hard with cease and desists and lawsuits by Nintendo, fans making what other gamers wanted were taking the spotlight and hype away from the sanitized, soulless corporate AAA game that lots of fans didn't quite like, and that likely didn't make some people at Microsoft or Nintendo too happy with both cases. And I heard rumors that Microsoft wasn't too thrilled at El Dewrito either. If anything, if the Nintendo fanbase wasn't full of as many corporate bootlickers who haven't realized yet that defending a faceless company online won't get you a job there, I guarantee the Project M fiasco would have been as big as this El Dewrito fiasco, because, well, Project M actually got tournament play. So anyhow, El Dewrito 0.6 update came out after tons of hype. Everyone downloaded it, and a day or two later, Microsoft issued a cease and desist, and the backlash online was a bit big, even despite the comment of talks with the developers. While even with a company like Sega, people would get excited at the prospect of fans working on an official game. With how 343 has treated Halo, fans have every right to be skeptical. With how bad Halo 2 was on the PC and how many times Microsoft would throw bones at PC gamers, while avoiding releasing what they demanded all the time, many gamers are worried it'll be a $60 microtransaction fest with no mod support and peer-to-peer online, and can you really blame them for thinking this way? Despite Microsoft's best intents at trying to stop a backlash, all these circumstances have resulted in a situation that's just going to finally accelerate the death of the Halo franchise if Microsoft misses the simple goal of making a Halo 3 PC port with a server list, dedicated servers, mods, custom maps, and in other words, like Custom Edition but for Halo 3, and then putting it on Steam with no Windows Store nonsense. At least I'll give the El Dewrito devs props though. At least they made it so anyone can host a master server, and at least they put the code up on GitHub, unlike certain modders who may now shut down projects. And at least they released a big update to at least make it somewhat serviceable. Unlike similar projects such as Alter IW or 5M, you can still play it online, and even those two projects ended up spawning successor projects from other developers based on the previous project, so there will still be people out there playing El Dewrito and whatever comes afterwards, regardless of Microsoft's intentions, because, you know, people are just going to, like, put up El Dewrito on a torrent website, and people are still going to download that years later. At the same time, it's also a reminder that not only fan games can be taken down, but also mods, if they're not officially sanctioned in some form, such as with a game that includes source code or a mod SDK. Until the law changes for the better, which is unlikely as long as Disney exists, it's likely not going to get better. Especially because nobody wants to go up against a game publisher's lawyer army. I mean, you could pretty much have to have a big legal team when you're being sued by people like the US government or Apple. And while the developers of El Dewrito got lucky since Microsoft offered to talk to them instead of just shutting their project down completely with nothing to show for their work, like what happened with the Call of Duty modders, not everyone gets that lucky. And at this point, you'd be better off making your own game than making a fan game. And if you're really going to take a game publisher to court over fan game stuff like some people have been suggesting, I hope your dad drives a Benz. I'm just going to say that right there. I hope your dad drives a Benz so he can bankroll your crazy exploits like, oh yeah, I'm going to sue a company that has a lawyer team to defend against lawsuits from Apple and the U.S. government or other big game developers. Yeah, all I can say is, really, like, the thing is a lot of the people making these mods aren't exactly the richest, I'm just saying, and there's a reason they will either back out or do like what they did here and just take a job with Microsoft if they're actually giving Microsoft a job and it's not just smoke and mirrors, because this is Microsoft we're talking about. So with that being said, I think there's two more things that could be said. The first thing is, Halo fans have every right to be pissed off about this. But at the same time, something else I've noticed is that making a fan game in this day and age is so risky that if you really want to make a game and it just so happens that it eclipses the official product, I'll just say this. Maybe you should have just done what the Freedom Planet guys did. Just make a game that's sorta like something else, like a fan game, for example. It's sorta like a fan game, but it's not a fan game, which means they can sell it on Steam and make money from it. And I say that because look at Freedom Planet. They're already making a sequel for it now. And that game clearly started off as a fan game to the point where the game even has copyrights for like this person's original characters and shit. So the thing is, if you do that, if you release a game that's kind of like something but not exactly like it, I guarantee you'll get farther along than making a fan game at this point. And with engines like Unity out there, with engines like Unreal Engine, it's what I'd recommend someone to do by far instead of just play the risky game that is make a fan game, because even if you get far, you're not going to get anywhere elsewhere outside the industry, especially if you choose to remain anonymous and put it up on a torrent site. I mean, it's a risky game all around. Just make your own game or something. All that needs to be said, really. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more. And there's my thoughts on the issue.